So if you clicked on this video, then most likely you're on a cart and you're confused on what types of foods to eat. Don't worry, in this video I'm gonna teach you all the foods that I ate in order to go from this to this. Basically, when you're in a cart, you want to be in a calorie deficit, and all these foods that I'm about to give you, it's going to be easier for you guys to stick to a calorie deficit. So all these foods which I'm about to give you, so basically when we're cutting, we should focus on foods that are lower in calories, higher in protein, and higher in volume. I'm going to be dividing the foods into three categories, which are your three macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fats. So first of all, I'm going to start off with proteins, because in my opinion, protein is the most important macronutrient if you're on a cart, because of the benefits it has. Like, not only does protein allow you to retain more muscle, but it's actually the most satiating macronutrient, meaning it will keep you fuller for longer, and it will stop you, which will stop you from binge eating, and that will be easier for you guys to stick to a calorie deficit. Another benefit of protein is it has the highest thermic effect of food. It has the highest thermic effect compared to the other two macronutrients. So basically protein, so what I mean by thermic effect is that basically when you're digesting food, your body still burns calories, and protein, compared to carbs and fats, burns the most amount of calories when it's being digested. Now, if you guys watched my previous video on foods to bulk, basically the proteins that I gave you there were more higher calorie and like fattier sources of protein. These protein sources which I'm about to give you, they're basically leaner sources of protein, meaning they have very minimal fat, minimal calories, and like most of it is like mostly protein. Alright, so starting off, first we got chicken breast, which is 167 calories for 100 grams, and it has 31 grams of protein. So chicken breast, you guys can like eat it in anything, like, you know, sandwiches, salads, rice. Right, next up we got turkey breast, which is 147 calories for 100 grams, and it has 30 grams of protein. So basically it has similar macros to like chicken breast. So yeah, turkey breast, you guys, it's similar to chicken breast, so you guys can have it with sandwiches, rice, salads. Right, so next up, what we got on the list is cottage cheese, which is 93 calories per 100 grams with 11 grams of protein. So yeah, you guys can have cottage cheese as like a little afternoon snack. Maybe have it with some crackers, maybe put on some toast, some bread, and yeah, it will easily bump up the protein without adding in the extra calories. So next up we got Greek yogurt, which is 62 calories for 100 grams, and it has 10 grams of protein. So Greek yogurt, just like cottage cheese, it's a great afternoon snack. So what I do with Greek yogurt is I'd add extra toppings to it, just to make it a little bit more, you know, enjoyable, such as, you know, honey, blueberries, some extra fruits, maybe some granola. So the last protein source which I'm gonna give you has to be protein powder. So the thing with protein powder is, if you're on a cart, you have to drink it with water, because the truth is, if you drink it with milk, it's just gonna add unnecessary calories. So yeah, protein powder with water. The macros for that is around 1 scoop is 113 calories with 25 grams of protein. So yeah, the thing about protein powder is, like, you can add it in, like, you can use it to make so many different recipes, such as, you know, you guys can use it to make protein pancakes, waffles, what else, like protein smoothies. These are all great ways, like, you know, use protein powder to make your meals more enjoyable, so it's going to be easier for you guys to stick to that calorie deficit. So that's it with protein. Now let's move on to carbs. So the whole point of carbohydrates is to give you as much energy as possible, so you guys are able to perform optimally in the gym. Now these carb sources I'm about to give you, they're basically pretty low calorie, so you guys are able to like have more of it without, like, you know, going over your calorie deficit. So first off, we have rice, which is 100 grams of rice is 130 calories. We got potatoes, 93 calories for 100 grams. So potatoes is probably the most go-to carb source out there, because number one, it's really low calorie, like 93 calories for 100 grams. You literally just can't beat that. And then second of all, it scores the highest on the satiety index. So basically the satiety index is basically a list of foods which will make you, you know, which will make you satiated, or like basically it's basically all the foods that you eat in order to feel full, and potatoes score the highest on top of that. So yeah, basically the truth is, potatoes, you won't be able to eat a lot of potatoes because, you know, it will make you full really quickly, and that's why it's such a great source for cutting. Next up we have popcorn, which is 557 calories, 400 grams. Now 557 calories, that does sound a lot, but if you just think about how much 100 grams of popcorn is, like, to be honest, I guarantee you won't be able to finish it. Like popcorn is probably one of the great snacks that you should be consuming if you're trying to cut. So the rest of the carb sources that I'm about to give you, they're basically just fruit. So we got apples, which are 95 calories per apple, and then we got watermelon, which is 30 calories per 100 grams, pineapple, which is 50 calories per 100 grams, as well as grapes, which are 69 calories per 100 grams. The thing about these carb sources is, yeah, they're very low in calories, so they're able to give you it's easier for you guys to stick to your calorie deficit. And second of all, the amount of energy these carb sources give you guys. Like, I remember eating watermelon once before going to the gym, and man, I had, like, that was probably one of the best workouts of my life. So the thing about these carb sources which I gave you, have most of these carb sources before your workouts, so you know you guys are able to maximize your performance properly in the gym. And the thing is, just because I gave you these foods doesn't mean you have to always eat these foods on the cut. Like, for example, like in my previous video, I gave you guys foods that are good for bulking. If you guys are still able to include those bulking foods into your meal plan whilst you're cutting, then do that. You don't have to stick to these foods. Like, these are just examples that I'm giving you to make it easier for you guys to stick to your calorie deficit. But these are just examples. Like, you guys don't have to, you know, follow it completely to the T, you know. So for example, yeah, bananas are probably the best pre-workout snack that you guys can have. But bananas, they're not a cutting food. They're most likely a bulking food because of its high calorie content. If you guys are able to still fit bananas into your meal plan whilst, like, you know, still being in a calorie deficit, then go for it. You don't have to follow all these cutting foods that I'm giving you. I'm just giving it to you guys because, you know, I'm showing you foods which are easier to stick to your calorie deficit. But if you guys can eat other foods, such as, you know, the bulking foods which I gave you in my previous video, if you guys can still eat those foods while still being in a calorie deficit and hitting your protein intake, then just go for it, you know. Do what you guys like, so, you know, it's easier for you guys to stick to your goals and, you know, stick to that calorie deficit. Alright, so that's it with carbs. And now let's finish off with the last macronutrient, which is fats. Now for fats, to be honest, there's barely any good cutting sources for fats. But number one cutting, there's only one source that I can give you guys, which is eggs. So eggs basically has 63 calories per egg, and it has 6 grams of protein. So the thing is, the reason why I gave you guys one source of fat is because fat is probably the highest calorie macronutrient out there. So basically, protein and carbs have 4 calories per gram, and fats have 9 calories per gram. So the truth is, it's better if you guys it's better if you guys avoid fats overall when you're in a cut, because, you know, the truth about fats is they're very high in calories, and since it's very high in calories, it's gonna be very hard for you guys to stick to that calorie deficit, you know, if you're on a cut. Alright, so that's it for the foods. Now I'm about to give you guys a free sample cutting meal plan that you guys are able to follow. I guarantee if you guys follow this for a consistent period, you guys are going to be able to lose body fat. So for breakfast, we got 6 eggs with 2 scoops of protein powder with water. So the calories for these are 603 calories with 84 grams of protein, 6.6 grams of carbs, and 27 grams of fat. So next up for pre-workout, we got 2 large bananas. Now bananas are not a cutting food, but as I said before, you can still add in, like, you know, bulking foods into your diet if if you're still in a calorie deficit. So 2 large bananas, the calories are 242 calories with 2.7 grams of protein, 63 grams of carbs, and 0 grams of fat. Next up, we got lunch. So basically your post-workout meal, which is going to be 200 grams of chicken breast with 150 grams of rice. So the calories for this are 525 calories with 67 grams of protein, 42 grams of carbs, as well as 8 grams of fat. For dinner, we got 200 grams of turkey breast and 150 grams of rice. So the calories for these are 480 calories with 65 grams of protein, 42 grams of carbs, and 4.2 grams of fats. And now for dessert, because like most likely when you're in a cart, you guys are still gonna be hungry. So for dessert, what we have is 100 grams of Greek yogurt with some fruit. Now that comes down to 57 calories only with 10 grams of protein, 4.2 grams of carbs, and 0.2 grams of fat. The total calories for the day come down to 1,916 calories with 228 grams of protein, 157 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fat. Guys, if you don't lose fat with this meal plan, I don't know, man. Like, I doubt it. Like, guys, this meal plan that I gave you, 100% you're gonna lose fat with this. Like, there's just no way that you're gonna be eating 1,900 calories a day and you're still gonna stay fat. So follow this meal plan and let me know what you guys think. So that was it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.